And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Monday, November 14th. I'm your host for today's program, Paul DeMain. Many of the stories read here can also be found at our website at indiancountrynews.com, and here are some of the news stories for the day. The Seneca Indian Nation says that a treaty it signed with the United States 217 years ago is under attack. The New York tribe marked the anniversary of the 1794 Canandaigua Treaty on November 11th. Seneca President Robert Odawi Porter says that while it remains in effect, the freedom it promises to the nation's lands, sovereignty, and citizens are threatened by what he calls economic predators backed up with government power. The Senecas in the New York state have long clashed over the state's attempts to collect sales tax on cigarettes sold by reservation smoke shops. The Seneca also are currently fighting to gain control of the hydropower operation at Kenzua Dam in northwestern Pennsylvania. The project was built on lands the United States seized from the Seneca. A statement from New York officials last week saying untaxed cigarettes are subject to seizure stirred concerns on the state's Indian reservations and territories, with tribal leaders wondering if tax collectors were making plans to act against Indian-made cigarettes sold on reservations. But the Oneida Nation said late November 11th the governor's office had called to say cigarettes made and sold on reservations remained protected from New York enforcement. The Native American Journalists Association Board of Directors held its annual retreat on November 12th in Norman, Oklahoma. At the meeting, the Naja board accepted the resignation of President Darla Leslie and board member Brent Merrill. In accordance with Naja's bylaws, Rhonda Lovato has assumed the duties of president, and Naomi Friday was elected vice president. Tristan Atone and Andy Harvey, Nancy Kelsey, Jolene Shunshin, and Shirley Sneevy remain on the Naja board. The Naja Board of Directors wishes to express its sincere gratitude to Darla Leslie and Brent Merrill for their service to Naja, commented Lovato. Their presence will be missed. Leslie, a member of the Yakama Nation, in a statement issued today said that accountability was her top priority and that the unwillingness of the Naja Board of Directors to address immediate issues regarding finances and audits that were not made available to the board led her to her resignation. Leslie said she would not be part of a board where she neither had the confidence or support of other board members to address insubordination, indifference, and casualness in maintaining the financial integrity of the organization. Members of the Reno-Sparks Indian Colony have re-elected Arlan Melendez to another 4 years as their tribal chair. Melendez has been the chairman of the colony for 20 years. He first was elected to the tribal council in 1987. 2 years ago, Senator Harry Reid appointed him to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, making him only the second Native American to serve on that commission since President Eisenhower established it in 1957. Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker faces a recall across Wisconsin, and organizers are hoping that historic relocation union ties, a repeal of affirmative contracting for Hispanics, blacks, Asians, disadvantaged women, and Native American contractors in the state, as well as a Republican-backed effort to put an open-pit mine in the Pinocchio Mountain Range upstream from thousands of pounds of wild rice beds on the Bad River Ojibwe Reservation, will mean the Native communities of Wisconsin will be heavily in favor of new leadership. The 60-day timeline for obtaining 540,000 signatures to force the recall begins November 15th and will end on January 15th. A popular Hawaiian recording artist turned a top security dinner of Pacific Rim leaders hosted by President Barack Obama and to settle protests with a song in support of the Occupy movement. Makana, who goes by one name, was enlisted to play a luau, or a Hawaiian feast, Saturday night, October 12th, for leaders assembled in Obama's birthplace, Honolulu, for an annual summit that is formulating plans for a Pacific Free Trade Pact. In the midst of the dinner in the resort strip Waikiki Beach, he pulled open his jacket to reveal a t-shirt that read "Occupy with Aloha," using the Hawaiian word whose various meanings include love and peace. He then sang a marathon version of his new song, "We Are the Many." Makana said the song prompted awkward stares from a few of those present, but the Obamas appeared too absorbed with their guests to notice what was happening. The performance occurred at a dinner for summit participants from 21 economies around the Asian Pacific, including both the Chinese and Russian president. Makana released the song on the internet the day before and decided to play it at the urging of fans, he said. So here is his story.
So I just came from playing the World Leaders Dinner at APEC here in Honolulu for the Obamas and I guess 19 or 20 other world leaders. So I showed up and did my gig, and I started to look around and I thought about this song I just wrote called We Are the Many. And it was an incredible experience to sing the words, those words, to that room of people. And I didn't belt it out. I started out very subtly and subliminally, and it was like, "Ye come here, gather round the stage. Time has come for us to voice our rage." Did he just say what I think he said? And then I realized that, wow, I didn't get in trouble, so I played it again, and I made like a different version of it. I ended up playing it for about 45 minutes. To be able to sing that there was an epic feeling. It felt right. My uncle always told me, play what's in your heart and play to the audience, you know, play what you feel is right for them. That's what I did. And I found it odd that I was afraid to do it at first. I found that disturbing. That's kind of why I did it. I didn't like the idea of being afraid to sing a song that I created. I've never in my life been afraid to sing anything. If that's what we've come to in the world, where we're afraid to say certain things in the company of certain people, I think that's a dangerous place to be. And so, for me to move out of that space, I had to sing the song. And that's what I did.
Ye come here and gather round the stage. The time has come for us to voice our rage against the ones who've trapped us in a cage, to steal from us the value of our wage, from underneath the vesture of law. The lobbyists at Washington do gnaw at liberty, the bureaucrats guffaw. And until they are purged, we won't withdraw. We'll occupy the streets, we'll occupy the courts, we'll occupy the offices of you, till you do the bidding of the many, not the few. Our nation was built upon the right of every person to improve their plight. But the laws of this republic they rewrite, and now a few own everything in sight. They own it free of liability. They own, but they are not like you and me.
And join us tomorrow with Alaska Public Radio News Network Director Lori Townsend when we will be revisiting some of the events of a historic storm they had last week on the coast of Alaska. Left villages without electricity and roofs, and may have made some shoreline native communities islands from erosion. That and more on the Native News Update, and thanks for joining with us today.